Oakland, Richmond, Vallejo, San Jose, all these cities that are just big. You can name every city in the Bay, and they're actually important. You know what I mean? Like where it's like, damn, stuff really happens here.
Yeah, that factor. Yeah.
So I feel like that individualism sometimes is kind of like shoots us in the foot.
Touching on that, do you feel that same way? Like, whereas being in the Bay, do you feel like you're limited on, just in general, not personally?
Yeah,
do you feel like you're limited on how far one could get? Or versus like if you're able to make the move Zaytoven did, like Atlanta or go to LA or whatever, or New York or whatever, to these different places, do you feel like your platform could excel in a bigger way?
Of course, I definitely feel like anywhere I go, I can make myself known in what I do. But I also feel both sides of the spectrum, of course, because there's always a spectrum. I feel like external and internal influences can allow you to create success. For me, that would be saying like, okay, externally, if I go to this other city, I'm gonna go be the biggest person out. But then what if my work ethic wasn't there? Or what if my talent really wasn't there? But it's like, luckily it is. Luckily for me, I believe in it. Not even luckily, I know, like, hey, I know what I'm doing with this. So let me go out there and believe in myself. So I definitely think it can expand it to a broader market. That's the importance of getting on places that can give you more exposure. Because, you know, sometimes certain cities or demographic, the mainstream is not listening to that type of music. But somewhere else, they might love you, you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. But I also am firmly believing in not to be thrown off where I'm from because just how hard the city was gentrified. So, you know, it's important to me to really make something that people in my city can feel and they'd be like, okay, you know what? This is really good. I like this. And it's important for me to be able to make it out here because this is where I'm from. So it's just at the same time, it's to a point to where, you know, I feel like I do my best to live in both realms of it. And I feel like you have to commit only when a certain type of circumstances requires you to be like, okay, I just have to go over here. You know, so I feel like right now I'm utilizing my intelligence and my experience to the best way. Of course, building myself here, but not afraid to say, oh, we going to London for a month? Come on, I'm going. I know I could do that. Right now I'm debating, like, I'm ready to go to Houston for a month just to go and get my name out there, just to go out there and push, you know? And it's like, for me, it's exhausting, of course, to go out there and tell people who you are, but it's also beautiful. It's also like that hard work is worth it. Those seeds that you plant and that you water and allow them to grow is great. I mean,
100%.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's something that came up with Boss Life and with Fizz, I think. Like,
Shout out Boss Life.
Boss Life.
Just like being an artist in the Bay.
Hell yeah.
Kind of like, should you like dip? Should you go to LA? Should you what should you do? Because it's like
that's what Fizzle did.
Is it limited at all?
That's what's up. Yeah.
Because it's a weird thing. Like, we have so much music and culture and stuff. So, and like, we have our own legends that like we want to aspire to.
I honestly think the industry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think the industry in the Bay is kind of like fucked up because it's where it's like, okay, we're so fucking great and everybody's got all this great shit. Why aren't we taking this shit to the next level? Why aren't we at the forefront of what everybody's doing? Everybody uses our shit. Of course, we get inspired from other places, but I always see people use Bay shit. We not get credited or know for it. And I feel like it's a lack of unity. And that's why we got to enhance the community, because really, when you got the common unity, the community comes together so easy. So that's how you really got to win. Yeah, that common unity for real. Once we get that in the Bay, it'll be cool. I don't care if it's money. I feel like status plays into something. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I know a lot of great artists aren't getting heard, aren't getting seen, getting overlooked. I know that a lot of people like who are talented aren't getting appreciated. And I feel like in the Bay, like Kehlani shouldn't have had to leave, you know? Like G-Eazy, he left. I feel like he shouldn't have had to leave. Like I feel like our great artists shouldn't leave because we're a mecca of music. I mean,
and like G-Eazy especially too. Like I have a hella respect for G-Eazy, but definitely I think leaving was like, I mean, vital for him to like,
man, of course. And it's crazy because I went to college in New Orleans for my first year and a half. And when I went out there, I went to the school of Loyola in New Orleans. So I'm like, hey, what's up? Who from the Bay really made a name out here? I asked DJ Cool Hands. He was from Oakland, white dude, had bars on the ones and twos. But when I asked him, he's like, bro, G-Eazy, bro. I was like, G-Eazy, who's that? So I went and looked him up. First thing I see, Tim Westwood freestyle. He had some alcohol right here with the comb over, I think. Was taking them shots, busting them rhymes. that's when really I feel like having the talent of rapping is necessary, but it's like you kind of don't have to know how to freestyle no more, or you kind of don't have to know how to spit some shit straight to be popping or to get paid. You know what I mean, it's more like a craft.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, G-Eazy that was motivating because like damn, people from the Bay are making it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So
I definitely agree with you on that unity part because I feel like definitely artists in the Bay, I don't know whether it's collaboration or if it's just a pride or ego thing in terms of each individual artist where they're not afraid but they don't want to step on other people's toes or whatever to want to excel to the next level. Because I know people in Atlanta, like that whole phase, like everyone puts each other on in Atlanta. That's how artists get bigger named out there or whatever. But I feel like if we had that in our community in the Bay Area, in terms of music, in terms of whatever it is, I feel like it would take us to definitely a whole other level. People would respect us and understand like, man, the Bay really got some hitters like going on. You know what I mean?
I agree 1,000%. And just to compliment what you said, I think it's a mixture of pride and ego for sure, because I know I suffer from it. I be having situations like, why should I do a song with this person? And I need to get out of that, but I feel like I try to work with as many people as possible. But also it's like in Atlanta, I feel like in places like Atlanta, Detroit, like meccas of black people, where you see black people thriving off of rap, where you see people thriving off of rap for real. You know what I mean? In places like that, it's more motivating to be a rapper. Think if you go to a city where, of course, you got up and coming rappers, but you not only you have the pinnacle of all rappers, and like the local rapper, he's like, okay, this is a local rapper, we only know him in his state, but he still has a nice car, he has a home, it looks like a wealthy occupation. Like in order for us to really go up, we got to understand and say, okay, rap is a real occupation, and that's really something important. I don't think people think like that, and I especially don't think in the Bay, and I think in the Bay also it's that status play. It's just like, oh yeah, one person might have a Benz out of everybody driving down the street, and you might be like, oh, I got this Benz so I can be better than you, but what is flexing if everybody's not flexing, if everybody doesn't have something to flex? You don't have any competition, really. And you go somewhere and you go into a bigger pond, you're not even able to swim with those fishes, Of course you might be able to, but it's like, it's like different than if we all have, oh, he has a Bentley, I got a Maybach, you got a what's an expensive car, Ferrari, and then you got a Range Rover, and it's just like, oh yeah, we all got our respective stuff. Then the braggadociousness looks a little different. But of course, we do need those people with those hood trophies. We do need those people with those behind the scene connections doing the right thing. And I do think there are a lot of people in the Bay that are doing that, showing us like, hey, you could really go and get this, just get locked in. Also, I think in Atlanta, I'm gonna keep it real, I think they have somewhat, I wouldn't say a better work ethic, but out there, what I've heard is, if an artist you go out there with an artist and be like, oh yeah, I'm trying to work. And it's just like the normal, whatever artist is going to be like, next day, okay, I'm there, we working. You know what I'm saying? I feel like out here.
In New York too, I think. Like East Coast.
You got to be quick with that shit. I feel like I even do this, so I'm talk about myself as well. We got that kind of like, hey, we going to work mentality, and then we don't put it together. You know what I mean? It's just like.
It sounded good.
Yeah. But we can't beat ourselves over the head too much. I feel like we still a top 10 rap city. I feel like we still a great city, not just musically, region. Let me not minimize ourselves, because really it's the Bay. I feel like in the Bay we minimize ourselves a lot, which our respective cities are so huge, like Oakland, Richmond, Vallejo, San Jose, all these cities that are just big. You can name every city in the Bay and they're actually important. You know what I mean? Like where it's like, damn, stuff really happens here.
They're a factor.
So I feel like that individualism sometimes is kind of like shoots us in the foot, or kind of is a double-edged sword, because we think we're so important by ourselves that we don't realize the collectivism and realize the interchangeability as well as the inner cohesion that we could come into. You know what I mean? Those are all the same word. I don't know why I said the same thing twice, but it sounded nice. Hey,
that's a really interesting point though. I hadn't thought about it like that, but the Bay should be one city.
Yeah, for real. It used to be the whole Bay used to be 4 on 5. So really, y'all from the city. You know what I'm saying?
Same as the Warriors jersey used to say. Exactly.
Man, everything used to be one thing, but I feel like different views, different politics, certain things, reasons that's probably beyond my knowledge right now, cause things to separate for a certain reason, and that's like majority of California is so huge.
Right.
You know what I mean? But definitely, hopefully, when we do that, we're actually, if the Bay comes together as one, we'll actually probably be as big as the region, like as LA or New York. You know what I mean? Because when they do
it gets close.
yeah, like for real, like 8.6 million in the Bay. Somebody can definitely go refresh me or update me on the number, but that's pretty big.
I think it's something
the
like
number
that.
we sitting at.
That's pretty huge. I mean,
It is huge.
It is so.
But yeah, man, what's even more bigger, bro, is your music, your influence. Man, we thank you for being here, and we want you to continue to, you know what I'm saying, to reach out to the community through your music, man. Like Max, Mike got any last statements? Man, go ahead. But I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you, man.
I had a great talk with
y'all. You know, with more music, you know, like yours, the Bay. We'll start to see that Bay become one.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm pushing for, the unity, because at the end of the day, that's what I want to see, you know.